Okay, check, check, check. Okay, check, check, check. Okay, check, check, check. Excellent. Check one, check two. Okay, check, check, check. Okay, check, check, check. Okay, check, check, check.
You're just obsessed with you.
You're obsessed.
Okay, check, check, check.
Oh, is it gonna? Now, is it gonna be a problem for me to get my mic out of here when you guys are filming?
No.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
There you go.
We could do it. I could just like come right in front of.
Okay, check one, check two, check one, check two. Final check.
Yeah. And then you just right on out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, check one, check two, check one, check two. Final check.
Well, thank you both for being here.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, of course.
No, no, no.
It's something again, like want to make sure that we get the most out of this moment.
I'm kind of yeah. I mean, it would have been nice to have more people, you
Yes.
know,
Okay.
and but
Yeah. No.
people have busy lives and
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden I just started kind of like dropping. You
the thing
know.
of it is, it's a short show, so
It's not easy. The live streaming thing, I was like, I'm dreading it a bit. People can be shy, I think. That's the reason.
That's yeah.
I mean, it's
I mean, when in doubt, just start dancing, and you'll be
Well,
fine.
that's the last thing I want to do.
I'm okay. I'm okay. You know. Yeah.
no, it is always a kind of a challenge to talk about your work,
Yeah.
you know. Um,
It's intimidating for
I
a
mean,
moment.
well, just because especially in the world of abstract art, where it's so interpretive. Like
Okay. What's good, y'all? I see all you guys out there. Hang on. We're coming. Okay. What's good, y'all? See all you guys out there. Hang on. We're coming.
No, 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 I didn't smell anything.
Oh, you don't?
No, what happened?
Oh.
She did a little pee?
Oh.
She looks so guilty.
Right? I made this smell for you guys.
No, I
For you
just
guys.
came here because he said we are starting it. No,
All right.
just came here because he said we
All
are
right.
starting it.
Shadow with me.
All right. It's all right. She's ready for the show. All right. So let's make sure everything's good here. It's all right. She's ready for the show. Let's check one, check two. Make sure everything's good here. All right, we're good. Okay. All right, y'all. So
Check one,
what's up,
check
y'all?
two.
Special, well, a little bit of a different show tonight. Hang on, let me turn this mic off. I got Michael O'Malley with me. We are standing here in Bushwick, Bushwick Gallery. It is the gallery opening of Vivid Force. So the power of bold color. Special, well, a little bit of a different show 15 tonight. Artworks curated by Michael. You guys saw him. He was on last week's I got Michael show on Monday night. He was we are standing here in Bushwick. Bushwick Gallery. Special guest on the show. Gallery opening. But the opening was last Thursday. It was a great power opening. Of bold color. And so I'm just going to pass the mic 15 artworks curated by Michael. You guys saw him. He was on last never done before. Show on Monday night. He was a special guest. Kind of like an exhibition. We're going to run through guest on the show. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit. The opening was last Thursday. It was a great opening. How Thursday night. I'm just going to pass the mic back and forth around. We're going to actually look at all the artwork. This is like a show that we've never done before. Artists with us. They're going to come up. They're going to talk about kind of like an exhibition. And so we're going to run through. You know, we're just trying something new, right? So guys, have patience. On that note, how Thursday night. Welcome back to. And we're going to kind of walk around in life, not through the screen, but artworks. I personally, you know, we're just trying something new, right? So guys, have patience. On that note, welcome back to HOP. In life, not through the screen, but it says I personally thought it was a great. Check. Okay. There it is. Okay. Let's start that again. The responsibilities for everything, like rolling backwards. What does it end just where it ends? Like when everybody's here, all the artists are here. Let me get back on track here. When all the artists came in, you got everybody. Finally, the opening day, everything's hung, everything's set, right? Does the responsibilities end right there, or do they carry on forward throughout the week? What else is involved? Go ahead, just give me.
All right, we're going to do take two now. Take two. No, and I know I just said this, but if anyone says curating a show is easy, it's not easy. It's a lot of work. It's rewarding because it is, focused on the artist, focusing on the experience. But there's a lot behind the scenes that go into it, whether it's communicating with the artists, kind of just organizing everything from the food, like what are we going to drink, the music, the flow of the room, the placement of the furniture. Is it working still? Yeah.
Check. Okay. We might need to take 4 here. Okay, Gino, we're back up. The audio is, we should be, yeah, good. I got the green lines. Okay, so I heard you say it twice, but you said that curation doesn't end after the big opening party. Okay. Okay. Curation doesn't end after the big party, right? So I'm going to ask you this for a third time now. What is involved after everything's over, everything's done, right? Like after the big opening, everybody is in and out. Now, place quiets down. You have the whole week, 13th to the 20th. What happens after everything? You're gonna tell me curation. Everybody tells you curation is easy.
Take 19. No. Yes. Right, exactly. If anyone tells you curation is easy, that's a lie. No. So after the show, what we ended up doing is we've held private tours throughout the week, kind of get people in here, again, give them the same experience as the opening reception. So whether it's kind of having food out, wine, champagne, just really focusing on, the artist, the artwork, and the space. So we've been doing that the last couple of days, again, communicating with the artists to make sure that if they want to get in here and bring anyone in, that, make sure that we're available. But the work doesn't stop like when the show ends. So we have a few more days, a few more opportunities to come check things out. But that's kind of like what I've been doing this entire week.
Okay, so question. Gina actually mentioned during the opening. Well, no, I think it might even been, it was earlier that day before the place was filled up. She said, strangely enough, on the opening day, you don't see a lot of sales, but then throughout the week, people come in, they need some time to think about stuff. They, and do you find that to be true? Why do you think why do you think it works that way?
Yeah. Mystic. Stop. Okay, that's my dog. Why do I think it works that way? I really think that a lot of times the opening reception is more of a celebration, and it's more of artists, friends, family, people that are interested in the gallery, people that are interested in the artwork, all coming to check things out. There is food, there is, wine, there's all that stuff that kind of brings a crowd where it's an event, but it's not necessarily like a moment where someone's going to be like, I'm taking that home. It does happen, and we want that to happen. But a private tour gives those individuals that are actual collectors and interested in purchasing artwork that kind of, again, hands-on experience of, does this work? What does this work? What are you looking for? Abstract? Are you looking for abstract? What kind of room in the house? What are you going for? What are you going for? Is it what seasonal home? Is this a condo? Is this a forever house? How does this art fit into your life? Because my goal is, how does this art fit into your life? We incorporate art. My goal is always to make sure that we incorporate art in our everyday life. And you've seen my house. That brings me a lot of joy, and I think that brings me a lot of joy. And I think in a lot of ways, it brings out emotion. Like it brings out emotion. When you surround yourself with art, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You feel good. And so getting this art into other spaces, other places, other homes. I think that's like the beauty of this, and that's where a private tour comes in, where hopefully a sale is made. When someone is actually alone in a space. Surrounded by this art, having this moment, this experience, and just like letting the artwork breathe, without kind of like the distractions, the movement, photographers coming through, my playlist, so that's kind of what this week has been, and we still are going to continue doing that for the next couple days, but it's a beautiful thing.
I think so. I'm gonna. Gina is giving us the big teamwork. Yeah, thank you, Gina. Yeah, thank you, Gina, for the no audio. With you. Very good. Okay. Here's what I'm curious about. Here's what I'm curious about. And I think this is good advice for a lot of artists out there, right? Collectors, right? And you talked a little bit about this on the show. You talked a little bit about this on the show too. Do they collect because personality? Do they collect because of personality of the like? If a collector comes, a lot of times I've heard people, a lot of times I've heard people, the sale happens from the artist, or a lot of times the sale, or do they just come in and see the piece, or do they just come in and see the piece? Like, how do you think that dynamic works when a sale actually? Like, how do you think that dynamic works when a sale actually takes place? Will a collector purchase more because of the conversation they had? Will a collector purchase more because of maybe the conversation they had? Is it something where they look at and they're like, or is it something where they look at and they're like, I want one of these, or I saw this guy on social media. Come on, Mystic, we're live right now. What do you think the dynamic is that really creates the, I want it, I'll take it. Yeah, this is, and then at that point, do you think price ever plays a part in it, or because a lot of times I've heard people say, what does price really matter, or this is the price of it, and I'm gonna. I've heard a lot of people say collectors will spend whatever it costs to get what they want, right? So, I'm just curious your thoughts on that.
This is actually really interesting, and I have to apologize for my dog. It's like a sideshow over here. But I actually just had this conversation yesterday with another artist, so shout out to her. But we were talking about, what goes into art, what goes into this artwork, and what, us as artists, like, what do we do? And the conversation essentially kind of revolved around, every artist is their kind of like their brand. When you're looking at a piece of art, you're not just looking at the art, you're looking at the person who created the art. So it's kind of like a whole package. So I think that's why a lot of times a collector wants to talk to the artist, because they want to feel a connection. We always want to feel like part of something, and the joy about art is, if I buy a painting, maybe I can't afford the painting. Maybe the painting is like out of my price range, but there might be something else. What's the point of entry? I have a business background, so I'm also like always thinking too of, okay, so I have a painting here for $4,000. I'm not going to lower the price of the painting, like it may be negotiable, but I'm not going to devalue my art. But if a collector is interested, what else do I have that can actually get them to feel connected? Whether it's the merch we were talking about, whether it's prints, whether it's a smaller painting, maybe it's something, related to the painting, something else that makes someone feel like they're in the game. So kind of to your point,
Smaller size.
smaller
I mean,
size.
sometimes you
Yeah.
see guys, they paint 6x6s rather than, oh, hey.
Exactly. It's the accessibility of art. We want to make sure that art is accessible, but at the same time, we want to make sure that there's some art that's like not accessible to us. And that would be kind of like the art where you find in like the museums, the Guggenheim, the MoMA. When you go to these places, you can see it on the wall and you say, wow, this is beautiful. This is amazing. This will never be in my house. I'll never be able to afford this. It's priceless. But I can go here and take a look at a Bell's piece and say, wow, this is beautiful. I can afford this, and I can take this home. What else does a Bell have, though? And then take a look at the collection that she's currently growing, talking to a Bell. Maybe there's an opportunity, too, to have something like custom painted. Or maybe there's an opportunity to, have something else done. Like we have Cole's piece right here. This is just one of many, and I know right now Cole is working on 3 new pieces. And so it's building out that collection, but it's also building out that kind of like entry point. So each collector is different. Price definitely ranges depending on your audience. So know your audience, know who your kind of like your demographic, like who are you kind of making art for or towards, and then ultimately don't sell yourself short, as an artist. Like if you're gonna make $10 paintings, you're gonna find a crowd that's, going to spend $10. If you make $4,000 paintings, now you're looking at kind of like maybe a different kind of crowd that's gonna be like more interested in your art. So but it's trial and error. It's a lot of lessons learned. I definitely have learned that lesson, like with my own art. I'll just tell you a quick story, and I think I may have mentioned this. I'm at a gallery. It's priced by someone else, 10 grand. In my mind, I'm thinking I have 2 pieces on the wall, 10 grand, 10 grand. That's 20 grand. Boom. Yep. I'm in it. Right. Exactly. Like student loans are gone. Done. And then fast forward a week later, they're back on my wall, and I'm like, okay. During that short span of time, though, I had people offer me 8. I had people offer me 5. Could I have taken that? Or, I was holding out for that 10. But the point is to get your art out there. At least in my opinion, it's how do I get my art to you? If it's on your wall, someone else is going to see it and become interested. They'll say, hey, what is this? Oh, that's a piece from Cole. You should check him out. Hey, what is this? This is a piece from David Bender. You should check him out. Hey, what is this vase? Check her out. All of this stuff that kind of goes into what I was saying. The art does nothing if it's just on our wall. It needs to actually like take a life of its own, go on its journey, go off to college, go make a life, have a family, and see like what happens, and then see it grow.
So every piece that you successfully get on someone else's wall, I feel like is almost like putting a business card on their desk or something, you know, as a billboard, you know, it becomes a topic of conversation. You know, somebody new comes walking into the house and, you know, that next thing you know, it's, oh yeah, it's just a new piece. And a lot of times I do think that we become very rigid on our sales. You know, I have a friend and he's about moving the pieces, as many pieces. Let's get as many pieces on as many walls. Grow your collectors, you know. All right. So, did I miss anything as far as the curation process?
I don't think so. I mean, I really think that this is like a very rewarding experience.
Check. Yeah. So I always do this. When I have the mic, they put a mute button right here. So yeah, it's a silly place to put a mute button. I must mute the show at least 100 times while I talk. But when you grab that bottom piece, just be careful. I don't know if I did it, you did, but
Hold it
I'll
like a.
blame me because usually I have a force of habit. But yeah, take it over.
All right, perfect. So we're now in front of David Bender's pieces, and I'm going to pass it off to you so you can introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, your art, your process, and we're not going to say the meaning behind this, but how does it make you feel?
Right. Thank you, Michael. My name is David Bender, and as you were talking about the global representation at the gallery for the show, I was thinking I'm honored to be a local Bushwick artist and have a piece in the show. I've maintained a studio here for 20 years, and when I saw the call on Instagram for the vivid force, the bold power, or the power of bold color, I thought, this is a show that was made for me. Oftentimes people will come into my studio and my work tends to be very colorful, and it just felt like a natural fit. Do you want me to talk a little bit about the piece itself?
Yes, no, definitely.
So the piece is called August Snow, and that's almost a contradiction of terms. A lot of my work is concerned with environmental issues. So we live now in a time of extreme weather, and I don't think this painting will make a difference in terms of like changing that, but it might point and to just an awareness that somebody might have in terms of the piece and how the statement it's making about our environment. It's kind of about our world, gone awry. And it wasn't always called August Snow. My process relies heavily on synchronicity. I'm an avid reader of diverse topics. And what I get excited about is when text and image rub together in unexpected ways. And that oftentimes creates a little seed, like a germ, a notion, a little crumb of an idea. And from there, it either goes somewhere or it doesn't go anywhere. But, that's the interesting creative process. And initially, I had done 16 of these paintings, all 32 by 32. And I thought, I'm going to do them kind of separate from each other, but then put them together in a grid. So 6 on either side, 6 along the top and the bottom. And I thought, it's going to create a new language, something I can't even preconceive of. And when I put all the pieces together, I realized it didn't make any sense to me. It might have made sense to somebody else. And so I just thought, you know what, this is not going to be a grid. And I started disassembling the grid. And these 2 pieces were on my studio floor next to each other. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is not a grid of 16 paintings. This is going to be 8 diptychs. And the title just came to me. I mean, you've kind of got this toxic palette here that almost looks chemical against this kind of soft, almost snow-like graphic in black and white. And I don't know where the title August Snow came from, but it just kind of, just instantly appeared in my mind. And I love that. That's, to me, the mystery of creating art. It just sometimes comes from places you can't possibly preconceive of. They only arrive during the process of. So that's kind of my story.
Like, I want one of these.
What I really
saw
like
this guy
about
on
your pieces
social media.
is when I was actually hanging it, Cole and
you
I
know,
were talking
what,
about how warm it feels. It actually
come on.
it brings out a certain emotion.
We're live.
And I had a couple people come in while we were kind of setting things up. And your
What do you think the
visually,
dynamic?
my eye what I really like about your
top,
pieces
and then
is
it
when
kind
I
of
was actually
makes
hanging
this
it.
flow and kind of just
Cole and I were
go
talking about how
along,
warm
and
it
then you
feels.
roll
right
it
into
actually
here, and I don't know if that was
brings out a certain
intentional, but
emotion.
it took me
And I had a couple people
while
come
to
in
actually see that. So it's
while we were
very
kind of setting things
interesting.
up.
You're saying
And
that
your
you
eye,
you had the two on the
visually,
floor. You say, hey, these
my eye
two
moves
go
from
together.
the top,
When
and then it kind of makes
if
this
you
flow and
notice,
kind of just, you go
this
along and you
line
roll
kind of
right
goes
into
right
here,
into
and I
this
don't know if
one
that
and
was
extends
intentional,
all the way
but
down here.
it
So
took
it
me
makes this like
a while to actually
perfect
see that.
piece,
So
like
it's very
in harmony,
interesting.
even though
You're
it's,
saying that
you had the two on the floor, and you say, hey, these two go together.
What appears to
When,
maybe be cold,
if you notice,
still actually has
this line
like, a lot of
kind of
light,
goes
a
right
lot
into
of
this
warmth
one
to
and
it.
extends all the way down here. So it makes
To
this
me,
like
it's like
perfect
a perfect
piece, like in
combination,
harmony, even though
and I love
there's a warmth
in the
piece.
piece.
What appears
And
to maybe be cold
yeah,
still
little
actually
details,
has like
kind of
a
like
lot
what
of
you were
layers,
saying,
a lot of warmth.
so
before the show,
to me,
talking
it's
to
like
you,
a perfect
I
combination.
really enjoyed our
And I love
conversations
that.
about
I love this piece.
health, exercise,
Little details,
snowboard,
kind of like what you were
skiing,
saying.
snowboarding, yoga.
Before the show,
and just talking about
I
clarity.
really enjoyed our
And
conversations
to me,
about
these pieces
kind of
health,
show like
exercise,
where
snowboard, like
this is very
skiing,
clean,
snowboarding,
yet
yoga,
the colors kind of like what you
and
said,
just talking
almost
about
kind of
clarity.
envision this
And to me,
toxic,
these pieces kind of
something,
show like
a clarity.
And then this,
where
to me,
this
just
is very clean
with the white,
yet the
the
color
white
is
kind
so
of like what you said,
powerful,
almost
especially
the
the
way
way
it
it envisions
stands from
this
this
toxic,
stands out from the
something.
wall.
And
And
then
this, to me,
it's a beautiful piece, and how
with
it
the
just
white,
comes together.
the white is so powerful, and
Yeah,
especially the way it
is like-
stands
I
from.
think with
it
our
stands out from the wall,
conversation, it means
that
so
is-
much more now.
It's a
talking
beautiful
to
piece,
you,
and how it
and
just
then
comes
hearing
together.
you just
so,
now describing
yeah,
yourself.
It was like I
and
think
then the
with
emotions
our
that I had,
conversation,
it means
as I was hanging
so
the
much
art
more
and
now
seeing it
talking
throughout
to
the
you,
show
and then
seeing
hearing you
the,
just
the
now
community
describing yourself.
react and
And then
interact
the
with
emotions
it.
that
So,
I had,
yeah.
as I was hanging the art. and
Is
seeing
there
it
anything
throughout the
else
show
that
and
you want to
seeing
say? Like, is there
the,
anything?
community
Where can we find
react
you
and interact with it? So,
So, as I said, my name
is
is
there
David
anything else
Bender.
that you want to say? Like, is there
But,
anything? Where can
on
we
all
find
the
you?
social media, and
so,
my website, as I said, my name is David Bender. But I'm sure all the social media and my website is under the name Studio. Fair amount of David Benders wandering around. But I'm sure surprised when I Google David Bender and get my studio. Rarely Google my name, but on occasion I have David Benders wandering around. I'm always surprised when I find me. Anyway, rarely Google my name, but on occasion I have, and say a shout out to Gina and to Michael. Me. Anyway. Thank you. I just wanted to say a shout out to Gina. I did my first curating the beginning of the year, producing a beautiful show for a ceramic show in Bushwick. I did my first curating the beginning of the year when you said, you know, it's not in Bushwick. It's not so easy because you play, you know, when you said, you know, it's not all the artists, to all the artwork, to getting it up, you play, making sure it gets back in the hands of this mother hen, to all the artists, to all the artwork, so it's getting it up. Making sure it gets back in the hands if it doesn't sell or if it does sell. So it's a doing pretty big deal. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you, Gina. Applause for doing a great job. I really appreciate
No,
it.
thank you very much.
Thank you,
and,
Gina.
You know, a special shout out to Bushwick as well. You know, I'm here. No, thank you
and
very
Bushwick is
much.
kind of like
and,
home to
you know,
me.
A special shout out to
So
Bushwick as
it's
well.
very happy to
You
hear
know,
that
I'm
you've been
here,
here for so
and
long
Bushwick
and
is
having
kind
that
of like
studio.
home to me.
And same
So
thing. I mean,
I'm
David
very
Bender,
happy to hear that
try
you've
looking
met
up
Michael
Michael
O'Malley.
and having that
You're
studio.
never gonna find.
And
me.
same
You know?
thing. I mean, David Bender, try looking up Michael O'Malley.
You're
No.
never gonna find me. You know?
Thank you. Thanks.
All right.
No.
So that's David
Thank you.
Bender. Amazing art. All right. We're gonna keep this moving since we do have. That's David Bender.
15 pieces,
amazing
14
art.
more to go.
We're gonna
but we
keep
have
this
another
moving since
phenomenal
we do
artist
have
in the house.
15 pieces
hailing from
14
Turkey.
more to go,
but we have
right?
another phenomenal artist
Hailing
in the
from
house.
Turkey. She missed
Hailing
the
from
opening
Turkey,
reception, but was able
right?
to come yesterday. to
Hailing
check
from
it out.
Turkey. She missed the opening
Mystic is still
reception,
here.
but was able to come yesterday
to check it out.
And we're going to roll right
Mystic
over
is still here.
And we are
Yep.
going to.
And we're gonna roll right over
talk to
here,
her.
and we are going to talk to her.
Hello, so I'm Zeynep Solakoğlu. I'm a painter and I recently started ceramics. I'm a painter and I recently started ceramics. With underglaze painted over it. Wheel-thrown vase with underglaze
I can
painted
tell
over it.
about the stories of
So
it.
I can tell about the stories of it.
This is about transformation.
This is
about
transformation.
This is a butterfly.
The
Character.
this
This
is
actually
actually
means
means
that
is about
character.
this actually
phase in
means
life that we go
is
through.
about the
This is
phase
isolation
in life
and
that we
this
go
is the
through.
social
This is
self.
isolation.
I think they are both
necessary
social
parts
self.
of life. It's
I think
part
they are
of
both
creation,
necessary parts of life.
and it's
a big part of my life
creation.
as well.
And it's a big part of
So-
my life as well.
Ask away.
So
Perfect. I'm gonna
That's
pass you
why-
the mic too, so you
Perfect.
can have it. I'm gonna pass you the
so
mic
Zeynep,
too, so you can have
what
it.
inspired you
So Zeynep,
to create
what
this?
inspired you to create
I was
this?
thinking a lot about the
I was
concept
thinking
of
a lot about
late
the
blooming.
concept of
And then when I was
late blooming,
researching it,
and then when I was
researching
thinking
it,
about the natural
I
processes of
started thinking
everything,
about the natural
and how
processes of
things
everything,
take
and
time
how,
to
things
Oh,
take
I'm
time to
I'm sorry.
how things take time to
How
open
things
up.
take time
so
to
I was
open up.
thinking a lot
So I
about
was
that,
thinking
about
a lot
the
about the
living beings that
living beings
live
that
in their own time,
live in their own time,
live in their
So
own
this
process.
character is also like
this
that.
character is also like
That
that.
was the inspiration
That was
behind
the
it.
inspiration behind it. So this is her blossoming.
So this is
and
her
blossoming,
just
and this
cooking.
is her just
Waiting.
cooking.
Waiting.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
All right, so I know I spoke to you yesterday about this. We had a lot of people.
How did you
ask,
capture?
how did you capture? The lines are so crisp. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Can you tell us a little bit about the process behind creating something like this?
I think being a painter helped because the ceramic waste is can be a little rough. Sometimes it is just sanding it to the max, and then playing with water, diluting the paint a bit because the underlaces have a little bit of mud in it, and then if you dilute it to fit the brush and a little thin brush and lots of patience, so equals to this. Lots of practice. Yeah, she dances. Yeah, thank you.
And where can we find you?
You can find me at zeynepsolakol.com, and I'm sure I'm tagged under the Vivid Force banner in Instagram in the Bushwick Gallery. You can find me there. If you want to Google me, I'm like in the page 5 as well.
That's amazing. How long are you in New York for? I know.
2 months.
2
Yeah.
months. 2 months.
For 2 months.
And what are you going to do in those 2 months?
I'm thinking about seeing a lot of shows, gathering lots of inspiration, museums. I don't know. I'm going to American diners and sketching for hours in them. I'm loving it. It's a bit of cliche artist thing, but it's fun. So bookstores, you can find me there, climbing one of the shelves. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to tell everyone?
2 more days before the show ends, so come on over. Yeah, thank you. Also, thank you and Gina for choosing my work and loving it and taking good care of it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So, no, it's amazing. It's very beautiful in person. So if you have a chance, please come check it out. And I mean, I hope to see more of your work too.
Yeah,
So,
same.
yeah.
Same with you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
All right. So we have 13 more paintings to go. This one is by Cole Levi Crouch. So Cole, he is currently residing in Harlem. He's a fantastic painter that I've known for a while now and have had the great privilege of working alongside, including hanging this show. But I love this piece. I love just kind of like the chaos behind it. And I actually was very lucky to see this piece kind of from the beginning, the process, all the way up until seeing it on the wall. I love Cole's work and the fact that we were able to get this piece in the show made me very happy. It's one thing to see Cole's work in the studio. We share a studio together, but it's another to see it on a gallery wall. Phenomenal piece. It could be yours. I would love for someone to take this home, but if you get a chance, please, by all means, come by and check this out, and definitely check out the rest of his work.
The detail in that is wild. I always like when a lot of detail on a painting, right?
Yes, this is by far probably the most intricate clouds I've ever seen painted. It's really cool the fact that, we were at another gallery and we had an exhibition with Ron English, and I know Ron liked Cole's art, so it's really cool to see kind of just his process and kind of his flow. And as he's painting these clouds into straitjackets, words in the clouds, and just the whole imagery. He used a different paint with this one. He used a matte golden. And I think it just came out perfect. I love the blues. I love the whites. It just, little hints of color here and there. And then again, like, what does this mean to you? Because it means something completely different to me than probably what it meant to him. But I absolutely love this piece. Yes, I really like the straight jackets too. And I really dislike everyone that came into the gallery and didn't know what a straight jacket was. So we'll keep it moving though. So.
I got a question for you before we do this next one. Is there a, like a plug with a USB around anywhere in here?
A plug with the
Like,
USB.
you know how you use a phone charger? You could plug the base plug in, but you put the USB into it, and then you plug the wire into whatever you're charging.
Like
Like just the plug base part.
like an iPhone one?
Yeah. Does that have a USB jack on the end of it?
No, I think they switched them.
Don't worry about it.
I do have a charger that has 17% that has a USB one on.
You have a charger,
It-
like a
it's like,
battery charger
yeah,
with a USB.
it should have it.
I need that. Right
Like
now.
now?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah. Right now. Yeah,
Okay.
please. Hang on, everybody. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna talk to you guys in the meantime. I'm just we're getting a charger. That's all. Want to make sure the camera doesn't clink out. But yeah, it was an awesome exhibition. I don't want to jack Michael's stream because he's on a roll, but I also don't want this to cut out. So I want all you guys to hang on. And I got to be honest with you. I think this guy's doing such a great job with hosting the show that I don't know. We might have found a new little thing going on here. Yeah, I gotta go. I just gotta run to the car. But jump in there.
Oh, am I still? You want me to still talk or?
Yeah. We gotta keep. Yeah, we gotta. But yeah. But in the meantime, what I'm gonna do is I need the wire to get on that camera.
Oh, so this is still going?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah. We're live.
Oh.
I just don't want the camera to go dead in the middle of the.
Okay. Okay. All right, reporting live from the gallery. All right, since we are live, I'm not sure if anyone can see the dog or have seen my dog throughout this show, but she's been kind of all over the place. Very comfortable in a gallery. I call her an art dog, but she's my little shadow, and you probably don't see her, but she is right behind me right now. Anyways, I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's enjoying the show. Don't normally hold a mic, nor am I usually live on something, but I'm very happy to ramble. Some people say that I like to talk a lot. I know that. So, but yeah, we have a beautiful show. This is going amazing. At least I think it is. I don't know, 50-50, you know. But how did that impact right away. I loved it. Talking to her yesterday, we have human eyeballs. We have incorporating snakes as tongues, but then the snakes also have tongues. You know, we have this kind of like octopus, you know, tentacle kind of thing. But what I also found fascinating is this is not the only one. I believe she has 10 other creatures, and one is 5 feet tall. I thought that was fascinating. Fascinating. But amazing artist, amazing artwork. Looking forward to sharing kind of the. I'm looking forward to the interview, sharing kind of it a little bit. The interview ramble, but I need to clip it a little bit. Very excited for everyone to see ramble. So if you are interested in checking out her art. Definitely, I will tag this, but I believe it's. So if you are interested in checking out her art, Camille, I'll send it. Definitely, I will tag this. I believe it's. If not, you know, just reach out to me and I'll happily share her IG handle. But I'll send it. Phenomenal artist. Camille has a master's degree in art and is creating a lot more. So we'll see what happens. You know, just reach out to me. We'll see what else she comes up with. Her IG handle, but phenomenal. Move on over. Phenomenal artist to the busboy. Love the busboy. The busboy is art by Joven, and this one also stood out to me when I first saw it. There's just something kind of eclectic to it, like to the painting for me. Comes up with. I just love the imagery. And I actually was really fascinated. Like I was really to the busboy meeting. Love the busboy. The busboy is by Joven. This one also stood out to me when I first saw it. There's just something kind of eclectic to it, like to the painting for me. Well, I just phenomenal art. And I actually was really fascinated. Right now he doesn't have an IG. Really looking forward he will get one. You know, meeting I recommended that he does get one, but I love his work. Love his art. Okay. It's very raw to me. Perfect. You know, and then talking to several other artists just specifically about this piece. Yeah, phenomenal art. It's looking at kind of like the direction. Right now he doesn't have an IG. He will get one. You know, I recommended that the black does get one. You know, but the kind of earth tone, I love his colors. Love his art. All coming very raw to make this. You know, and then talking to several other artists just specifically about this piece. It's looking at kind of like the direction of the eyes, you know, the black, where the black ends, nailing it, you know, the kind of earth tone colors, you know, all coming together to make this. All right, you know, so here we are. Electricity. We are at and I like it. Kind of a centerpiece of the show. Let's keep going. Don't know whose phone that is, but that's fun. This is Gina Kelly. Nailing it. No, Keatley. Gina Keatley. It's very bold. So here we are. We are at a lot of black, kind of a centerpiece of the show. And don't know whose phone that is. Yeah, there's just something about this piece, you know, the way it's framed, Gina Kelly. It stands out on a white wall. You know, this is something that I could really see. It's, you know, very bold. Office space. She used in a place that kind of gets a lot of traffic. You know, a lot of people walking past. Yeah, there's really just something about this piece, you know, the way it's framed, the way it stands out on a white wall. You can see kind of like, you know, this is the brush that I can really see. And I know she had mentioned, you know, in an office the type of brush that she used, but it's in a place that kind of gets a lot of traffic. And a lot of people walking past. It really kind of like really strong, really bold, it makes me feel something. You can see kind of like she also has the brush strokes. Like so and I know she had mentioned artwork like this. She is also the gallery owner, but it's a very kind of like which is great because this is and I absolutely her space and the fact that we were able to curate really such a wonderful really bold and really beautiful, incorporate a piece she also like has in it. Really is kind of a testament to like this. You know, she is also the gallery owner, the energy of this place, which is great because this is kind of building that community her space and the fact that we were able to curate such a wonderful show and then also incorporate a piece like this in it. Really is kind of a testament to the energy of this space, the energy of this place,
Yeah.
and then kind of building
Yeah,
that
no,
community
this-
here in Bushwick.
For it being like the color choice it is, there's a lot of life to this, which I really appreciate. When you actually take a look, you can find, hints of pink, hints
Yeah,
of
no, this-
orange.
For it
so it's not
being, like,
just, the color choice it is.
monochromatic, it's,
there's a lot of life.
in this
to
painting
which
is
I
really much
appreciate.
alive.
When you actually
It
take
reminds
a look,
me
you can
of
find
kind of
hints of
like
pink, hints of
volcanic
orange.
ash.
So it's not
That's kind of
just
the imagery
you
I
know,
get when I look at
monochromatic.
this.
It's
just,
there's life. This
there's
painting is
something
really
very
much
powerful
alive.
to this.
It reminds
and
me
I
of kind
appreciate
of
it.
like volcanic.
All right, let's
ash.
keep it going though.
That's kind of the
Um,
imagery I get.
All right,
when I
we're
look
rolling
at
back
this.
over here.
Just
There's something very powerful to this, and I appreciate it. Okay, all right, let's keep going though.
we're good.
All right, we're rolling back over here. Perfect. We have a Bell
Okay.
Shoom. A Bell Shoom.
Good.
This is Flight into Dreamery. Phenomenal
have
piece,
Bell
one of my
Shoom.
favorites from a
Bell
Bell.
Shoom.
A Bell
This
is a
is
very much up-and-coming artist
Flight
here in
into
New York
Dreamery.
City, hailing from
A
Hong Kong.
phenomenal piece, one of my
I
favorites
love
from a Bell.
her
A
medium.
Bell is
She
a very
uses
much
oil
up-and-coming
paints,
artist here in New York
and she
City,
creates
hailing from
just
Hong Kong.
I
These
love
paintings
her
that just
medium.
feel,
She
again,
uses
so
oil paints.
alive.
They're
And she
very
creates
vivid.
just
When I was thinking
these
about the
paintings
show
that
and
just
thinking
feel,
about
again, so
the power
alive.
of bold
They're
color,
very
a Bell was
vivid.
the first
You
person
know, when
that
I was
came to
thinking
mind.
about this show and thinking
I
about
had the wonderful
power of
opportunity
bold
of watching
color,
her paint
Bell
now
was the
for
first
about 6
person that
months.
came to mind.
And every
I had
single
the
time,
wonderful
wonderful
opportunity
opportunity of
something,
watching her
it's-
paint now
it's
for about
always
6
a
months.
masterpiece,
And
at least in my
every
mind.
single time she creates something,
She's
it's-
very talented.
It's always a
and
masterpiece.
this
At least
is
in my
something
mind.
that, again,
she's
I
very
could see
talented
very easily at my
and
home.
This is something
I
that
absolutely
again,
love it. I could see very
and
easily at my home.
Yeah, I absolutely
If she
love
was
it.
here right now, I'm sure she would
And
have a lot more to
yeah,
say. If she
but
was here right now, I'm sure she would have a
Abel
lot
is
more
an
to say.
absolutely
but,
outstanding
artist.
Abel is
and
an
very
absolutely
much
outstanding
looking forward to seeing her
artist
continue to
and
grow.
I'm very much
and
looking
continuing
forward
to
to
create
seeing her
this
continue to
space
grow
here in New York
and
City.
continuing to create this
So-
space here in New York City. So,
Cool.
All right, thank you, everyone. All right, thank you, everyone. Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah, yeah. No, no. Thank you so much.
so much.
We'll see you both
See you
soon.
both soon.
All right. Here we are at April's piece. April's piece does weigh 40 pounds. 40 pounds of acrylic paint. There was a challenge when she brought this painting in. In order to hang it on a wall. Ultimately, I became a little too nervous about putting this on the wall, so I found this desk this table to prop it up against. It's very much alive. Talking to April, understanding her process better. I love the fact that it comes out of the canvas. This acrylic, and it is all acrylic. It's a very thick acrylic, but there's just so much to it. And the wonderful thing about this also is she encouraged people to actually touch it. I was scared to do that during the show, but I'm going to do it right now for you. So, pretty great, pretty great. April, if you are watching this, it's a phenomenal piece. I absolutely love it, and I can't wait to see more of your work. But also found on IG, so take a look at her, all of her other work, and you can possibly find the challenge of how to hang something 40 pounds on your wall. So.
Interesting also how it's, I think the back is wood. Right?
The back is wood.
I think when I asked her, she said that the weight would probably collapse the canvas.
Yes, yeah. This is, it's very thick, so you need a kind of like a thicker kind of backing, where this would not have, I at least don't believe it would have worked on a canvas. So we do have a thicker kind of piece of wood in the back, but that really is to kind of, again, provide that support to all of this beautiful imagery coming out. A lot of flowers, a lot of flowers. One of the things that I found very interesting too is, I'm not sure if you can see this, but there is a hidden heart in this painting. And it took me a long time to find it, and I am not going to tell you where it is, but there is in fact a heart hidden in this painting. So beautiful work, and yeah, it could be yours. So, all right, we're going to keep this moving. We have Sario's piece. Sario is from Italy. Sario is a phenomenal painter that not only does abstract work, he also is in the streets. Again, he also is very much a phenomenal, talking to phenomenal April graffiti writer, understanding her process better. I've had the opportunity to see Sario do both. I love the fact he knocks it out of the park all the time. It comes out. I really love this piece. Painter that not only does abstract work, he also can tell a story without telling a story. He also, you have like that vivid imagery again. You have the colors. So I've had the opportunity to see Sario do both. And he knocks it out of the park all the time. To me, reminds me. I really love this piece. I love the fact Christmas lights, or city lights. It can tell a story without telling a story. The city during the rain. You have like that vivid imagery again. You have the colors, like a stained glass window, in combination with kind of like this the dark and aspect of it. Big fan of Sario's work. I had the opportunity to paint with him for 2 months this summer, or city lights, or he has a studio not far from mine, the rain, and it's great every single time you run into Sario. It's a beautiful, almost like a stained glass window. Wonderful person. It's phenomenal, amazing artist, and I've been a big fan of Sario's work. I had the opportunity to paint with him for 2 months this summer. We're going to keep it moving. He has a studio not far from mine, and it's great. Every single time you run into Sario, it's a beautiful thing. Wonderful person, amazing artist. Yes, so much to appreciate here. Really hard. This is Kajal. Right. We're going to keep it moving. This painting stood out to me just because, one, the color, and then two, again, we're looking at bold color. We're looking at vivid imagery, and yes, she knocked it out. Trying really hard. This is a piece to me that this is Kajal, the blue and the reds and the oranges and the yellows. Just this painting stood out to me just because. So one, the color. I've actually stared at this for again. We're looking at a long time. We're looking even when there's no one in the gallery. Just admiring just the artwork. This is a piece to me like the process with the blue, trying to look into like the oranges and the yellows. To me, just what does this mean? It was a perfect composition. And then what did this mean to the artist? I've actually stared at this for a long time, even when there's no one in the gallery. Just we're still admiring just the artwork. Trying to look into like phenomenal artist though. Trying to look into like what does this mean to me? What does this one else? And then what did this mean to the artist? I don't even know anymore. Take 900. We're still phenomenal artist. All right. Outstanding work. Phenomenal artist. Beautiful piece. Outstanding. So, you can find her on IG. You can find her hopefully at other shows as well. I don't even know anymore. Take 900. Beautiful. Beautiful. Phenomenal artist. We're gonna keep going because I don't really know what's happening now. And just such a beautiful piece. So. You can find her on IG. Are we live? Are we not live? Are we? Shows as well. We're live. We're kicking it up. We're right back to some other thing on the screen. We're gonna keep going because I don't really know what's happening now. Are we live? Are we not live? We're live. We're right back to some other thing on the screen. Still have the mic. How's that? You want some light in this on? I still have the mic. Okay, perfect. How's that? Work. Let's turn this on. Does this work? Should I do okay, perfect. That doesn't work. Oh, hey. Does this work? Should I do one of these? All right. We're still here, right? Oh, hey. Okay. So this is Sam Price's art. I had a conversation, a very great conversation last night about this. So this is Sam Price's art. During the submission process, a very great conversation last night about this. Something about this stood out. During the submission process over the summer at another gallery. Something about this stood out. Artist. I met Sam over the summer at another gallery. Phenomenal artist. He submitted this piece, and it took me a while to look at this piece, and it took me a while to look at it. I felt something. I had to figure out what did I feel inside of me. The imagery is, a lot of people. It looks like they're on their screens. While apocalypse is happening in front of them. There is a sports field. It looks like someone's like playing, maybe football, something. But everyone is on their screens. And yesterday, the conversation with another artist, again, shout out to them. I had to ask myself, she saw something different than I didn't see. To me, I saw kind of like a hellish landscape, and she said it kind of reminded her of a nightmare, but in a good way, because she actually felt something with this painting. It's something that invokes a lot of emotion for me. It's a very powerful piece. I wish Sam was here right now to talk about it himself, because I'm sure hearing kind of like his inspiration would be really telling, just exactly the meaning behind this. But yeah, no, this definitely, it makes you feel something, especially in person when you see it. So shout out to Sam, great job, and again, much better to see it in person than right now on live. So let's move on over. We got Mystic still, trying to get out of the way. Okay. All right. We have, I always mess this up because he does. So this one is by White Deer. So when you think of spelling white deer, think of adding a WWHHIITTEEDDEEEEERR. White Deer. Phenomenal artist. When I met him, I was under the impression that he primarily did photography. Oh, all right, well, we have light. I thought that he primarily did photography, and that's kind of like what I knew him for. And then I found this whole other side to him, and phenomenal work. I love this piece. I love the fact that it's very raw to me. The use of the color, the use of the paint, kind of like the movement of the brush strokes. It's almost like someone was like scratching into the paint, against the canvas. It's there's like a raw energy to it. But very strong piece in the show. A lot of positive interactions with it. And he has so many amazing pieces similar to this. Phenomenal human. Every conversation I have with him is always great, and he hustles very hard. He's out there selling his paintings. He's out there trying to get his art to you. So please give him a follow, check him out, check out his photography. He also knocks it out of the park, but love this guy, love his art, and very happy to have him part of the show. We're gonna keep moving. We have chords all over the place now. Okay, we have my good friend Tibor. Tibor is an outstanding artist. I've had the chance to know Tibor for over a year now, and he's been one of the most supporting people to me, not just with art, but just in life in general. Sadly, Tibor did blow out his Achilles tendon playing basketball against me. So unfortunately, Tibor, if you are watching, you lost. And good luck healing, but I'll probably never play you in basketball again. But back to his art. His art is phenomenal. He creates this, almost like surreal imagery. This is a painting where, it's hard for me to describe, but the first time I saw this,
it looks like someone's like
again,
playing,
it was almost like a dream,
maybe
like an
football,
artist dream.
something.
But everyone is
We
on
as
their
artists,
screens. We're always trying to think
And
of
yesterday,
what to
conversation
create.
with another
And
artist,
in this
again,
painting,
shout
it's like
out to them.
the brain
I had
is like
to
coming
ask
from the
myself,
paint.
saw this,
Time is
again,
an
it was
illusion.
almost like a dream,
Like an
we're
artist
in
in
the
the clouds. This creative
artist,
cloud.
we're always
trying to
think
the
of,
meaning of life.
what to create.
We're
And
in
in
this
this
universe.
it's like
we're kind of just
the brain is
ascending
like coming from the paint
into another place.
Um,
Time is
he
has
we're
in the
kind of
clouds,
this
ripped
creative
pieces
cloud,
of a calendar
meaning of
all
life,
over the
universe.
place.
We're kind of
And
just
I had to ask
ascending
him
into
like,
another place.
What's the meaning behind
ripped
this?
pieces of a calendar all over
And
the
it was
place.
very
And I had to
interesting
ask him,
when he
like,
told me that
what's the meaning behind
each
this?
circled
And
number
it was very
is
interesting
a
when he told me
significant
that.
date.
And I
Each
thought that was
circled
very
number
interesting,
is a significant date. It's a significant date
and I
to
thought that
him,
was very interesting,
to his
you know.
life. It's a significant
so
date
there's
to him,
that personal
to his
aspect
life.
to this,
So
but,
there's that personal
Tibor
aspect
is
to
an
this,
absolutely
but,
phenomenal
Tibor is
painter.
an absolutely phenomenal painter. I've been lucky to paint with him now for a few months as well, and just watching his process, watching from start to finish, and then just to see him kind of in action is just it's phenomenal. And I'm going to say phenomenal a lot more, but it's the best way to describe this. Again, better to see in person, but strong piece, and I'm so happy we were able to have him part of the show. Thank you, Tibor. Go to Matt. Okay, yeah, and then we'll. Okay, we're gonna roll right on over here. We're good? All right. So this is Matt Furman. Matt Furman has like a wonderful kind of like almost like illustrative doodle Picasso aspect to this painting. And it's personally one of my favorites. Matt is such an inspirational and inspiring artist that I was so happy when he submitted for the show, and he submitted this piece. I thought the color choice was phenomenal. I thought just the imagery inside, while it looks like it's chaos, there's kind of a symmetry to it, which you can't really see until you're like actually looking up close. He has eyes, and they're like looking out. They look kind of like lazy. Like, I don't know what that means, but it all comes together, and it just, it's one of the cooler pieces I've seen. And Matt's a phenomenal artist. So if you ever get a chance to see more of his work, definitely take that opportunity and check out what he has. Excellent artist, excellent person, phenomenal presence here at the gallery. So, Matt, great job. Shout out to you. Shout out to this amazing piece. It's called Red. So, and it was created in 2024, and it's actually oil on canvas. So, yeah, very strong piece. So, okay, let's go to the last one of our show. And this is when I am actually going to pass the mic to Mr. Marc, because we have something phenomenal to say. Again, phenomenal. Marc is not just, the curator. The first time I met Marc was at Yusuf Zapata's solo show here at this gallery, and it was really interesting. We had a great conversation, but the next time I had a conversation with him was actually in preparation for our interview we did. But then when you came here to drop off, he gave me some extra tidbits that I did not know. It was very interesting to hear kind of the backstory, coral farm, like farming, being a photographer before, and then ultimately coming back to art. So Marc is an artist, and this is a piece from Marc's collection. So I'm going to pass you the mic now, and you can talk about your art.
This is a little bit of a role reversal here.
It is.
I gotta say, you guys probably watched the show for a very long time, but this guy right here, I don't know, the way you took control of the show and did the artworks, man. Yeah, you kudos. I didn't know. I don't think I would have been able to talk about these pieces. So I thought, you and I watched you do a couple IGs, and yeah, you're pretty good. But marketing, right? Most important thing about selling a product is I feel a photo. And so big thing when it comes to corals and reefs is a lot of people would place them under different lighting, like fluorescent lighting, and they would take pictures that they really didn't look. You could really bring a lot of sea life has fluorescence within the bloodstream, so that bioluminescence, you can really, like, this is like almost like black light. Right, so you would really see these. If you put a piece of coral underneath the black light, you would see these greens pop and these yellows would shine, almost like a black light folder. So people take pictures of this underneath, and then they would post them, and then they would put this stuff for sale. And then let's say you're the hobbyist, and okay, you come by and you grab this piece of coral, and then you take this piece of coral, you put it in your tank, and it doesn't look the same. And now you just spent, people spend upwards of $300, $400, $500, sometimes $1,200 on a little chip of coral, and now you get it home. So one of the things when we were, farming it, growing it, and then bringing it to hobbyists was, very important to me was let's capture it correctly, that way we could sell it the best we can possibly sell it. And out of that, I remember doing that for about 8 to 10 years, and I remember sitting over the cutting our frags and shooting calcium chloride up my nose, and just thinking like, man, I miss art, man, I miss photography, I miss, what am I doing? Like, where did my life, how do we get over here selling coral? And I said, and I think it was that moment where I was like, you know what?
What is the best way to describe
I would rather sell cutting our frags and shooting calcium chloride up my nose, and just thinking,
so
like,
that's how this collection
man,
came
I
to
miss
be.
art and photography. I miss, what am I doing? Like, where did my life? How to get over here selling coral? And I said,
pieces
in the collection. I was like, also, interestingly enough, I would rather sell videos of coral. So I also shot film of these pieces in motion as well. So those are going to be the reef prints. Stills are going to be the physicals for the galleries. I think I have about the NFT collection pieces in the collection. Also, and so that's how this got here. Video. Yeah, that's the story behind this piece. It's a long path, but believe it or not, I think I shot physicals in 2010. The NFT collection will be the video. And so that's how this got here. This is the story behind this showing. And this is a long path, but believe it or not, I think I shot a little bit of a rookie, but that's how. And look at how long it's taken for this is the second time it's showing. And this is my first time, right? Power bold color. So I'm a little bit of a rookie, but kind of weird. I got some color. But yeah, I got some color.
This piece to me is very cool. Piece to me is very cool. I didn't know it was coral at first. I thought this was actually like abstract universe, which in I guess a lot of ways coral could be. But then when I found out it was coral, and then the photograph, that's really when I started seeing like the photograph. That's really when I started knowing kind of like my limited time with coral, detail to everything, and knowing kind of like my limited time with coral, snorkeling and stuff like that. Just seeing again, knowing your background now, seeing like the picture, and then seeing just kind of, like you said, the color, it's very much alive, and shout out to coral everywhere in the world. They're all dying right now.
This piece is no bigger than, this piece is about this big.
That's
a lot of people were, what's this? Is this a lizard? Is it? Yeah, a lot of people had trouble kind of figuring out what it was, but I like that. Like I like that. Because if you're not really in the hobby, I don't think you ever. If you're not familiar with the hobby, then you would never be familiar with how bright and
Yeah.
colorful coral is, you know. So it's nice when it throws people off
Yeah.
because people are like, what is this coral?
Well, I also think the cool thing is if someone has to actually like stand in front of your photograph for a while to really take a look at it, it means that not just that they're interacting with it, they're trying to understand it. So, what does it mean to them? You know, because every single picture, you know, even photographs especially, but you know, what's the story it's telling? And this, it's interesting you brought up lizard, but you know, it could be so many different things other than coral. And I think that's really cool with this piece as well, is because it stands out. And it stands out in a way where it could just be abstract. You know, it could be anything. Ha ha ha. No.
I'm like, if you didn't know, this could abstract painting, right? Like, obviously, it's a
Yes.
photograph, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know how many times I've looked at this. I've never been crazy about abstract art. It took me a long time to get into it,
Yeah.
right? But then, you know, I started looking at this. I was looking at different abstract artists, and I'm like, you know, this thing is as close to abstract, an abstract painting as you know, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? It's like it's gonna do all right. It's gonna do all right. You grow confidence, I guess. You know, as you, I know photography is a very difficult when it comes to fine art. It's you know, I think maybe out of percentages, if I remember correctly, like 10%, 15% of all fine art that sells is photographs. So you really, I think, have to have something, you know, different for it to, you know, people. So you got to shoot something that people, you know, it's very difficult to sell pieces when it comes. People look for physical pieces, paintings. So, you know, there's a lot of nervous feelings entering in with photography because it's like, you know, how are people going to feel about it? Because usually they're very quick to, you know, the painting. They look for physical pieces, vases, you know, and photographs. Oh, it's just a photograph, right? So it's like, you know, but seeing it in here with all your other curated pieces, I'm like, yeah, all right, it holds its own. I'll tell you this, the big joke of the show was it needed to be bigger. You know, I felt like it needed to be a little bit, I was just like coming in here and I'm like, look at the size of these pieces. But yeah.
Yeah, no, bigger's always better, you know. No, I think this piece just alone, like just by itself is very strong. You kind of mentioned, you know, photography. Photography to me is always capturing a moment, you know, capturing kind of like an emotion. Whereas paintings, you know, paintings can do the same thing, but a photographer, like I can't talk anymore, but a photograph is capturing something real, you know, and so even with this is knowing that this is actually coral, that this is living coral, I don't think you can like replicate that. So I like the fact that it's also kind of like that abstract imagery to it, but it's also very much alive, you know, and it's a living thing that you took a picture of, and also knowing the size now, you know, it's incredible. So a big congratulations to you, especially showing it here and being a part of the show. Like it's phenomenal, and I do hope to see more of your work, especially, you know, if you have more similar pieces or more, you know, other photographs. You know, he does have a background in photography too, so he has a lot more. But very strong, and like I said, like I'm so happy that you were part of the show, that we have a chance to do this, and you know, yeah, next time go bigger too. You know,
I want to say thank you. Definitely, yeah. I want to give that so not only for this, but you know, the guys. He's on the HOP Monday night. It was a great. I told her it's a great show. And then I want to say thank you to Gina and the gallery. And it was an honor to show, be curated and by you guys and just everything. So yeah. And I you know, sometimes, you know, it's a way to say thank you, you know, and then I'm happy that I have the show because, you know, for me, it's, you know, as much as I can do to promote and you know, spread and get you guys on and get you on as a spotlight and get Gina and the gallery on. And So yeah, I appreciate everything. Thanks again. Yeah.
We do have something for you actually from Gina, so let me go grab that.
Oh shit.
So we can do it on camera.
Oh shit. It was funny. I was driving over here, and you know what I was saying? I was gonna text you like, she did she tell you the story behind this?
I don't know the story, but I know you like orchids.
I do. I have. Oh shit. All right. All right. Okay. So as we were leaving that night, afterwards, I said to her, I said, who's? She said, all right. You know how she did. Get out. Get out. Get out. Time to get out. Right. And as we were leaving, I say, Gina, where are those orchids going? The yellow, and I've never seen orchids like that before, but I never checked to see if they were alive either. And
They're the non-alarming type.
so she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? They're staying here. They're part of the gallery. And I'm like, what do you mean? They're going to die. I'm like, she's like, Marc, those are not real, not real, not real. And I'm like, are you shitting me, Gina? And I'm looking at them. Now I go up and I'm like, shit. And I'm like, all right. I was like, I had my heart set on these, Gina. Yeah. I'm like, I've never, so like oftentimes they call coral flowers under the sea. And I'm also a big, if you ever come to my studio, I have orchids. I have hibiscus. I save all sorts of different, I'm a big flower, I'm botanical. And I like shooting, I feel like everybody shoots flowers. That's why I don't, show that work that much. But all right, thank you, Gina. You got me blushing over here, Gina.
I think that was real too.
It is. It is. I could not believe. I was so disappointed. She saw the disappointment in my face. I was just like, "What do you mean they're not real?" And I went up to it and I grabbed it, and it was plastic, and I'm like, this sucks. I just wanted one. I figured, she was gonna throw them out. I didn't even think to check if they were alive. She's like, you know what? You could also put oil on them and makes them look real. I'm like, so. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. This made me smile. You want to get back and close out? We'll close out the show. Yeah, take about 5 minutes. Just wanted one. I figured, she was gonna throw them out. I didn't even think to check if they were alive. She's like, you know what? You could also put oil on them and make them look real. So, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. This made me smile. You want to get back and close out the show? I was driving over what I'm saying. All right. I hope it's a Cat 5 cable because I packed every network cable I could possibly find. To make this show work. I said last time I was driving over what I'm saying. I hope it's a Cat 5 cable because I packed every network cable I could possibly find to make the show work. I said last time was able to make it work. Okay. All right. Was able to make it work. This was the thing I was taking home with me. And I'm like, Gina, what are you going to do with these? You going to throw them out? She's like, Marc, I'm like, Gina, what are you going to do with these? You going to throw them out? I'm like, she's like, Marc, they're going to die. She's like, they're not alive, Marc. But they're dying. She's like, they're not alive, Marc. I'm like, how is this possible? Yeah, these are beautiful. Okay. So I think I was more upset at the fact to find out that they were fake. Okay. It would probably have been funnier if you would have saw my face on that night, because I was sitting here like, no way. All right, where are we? So awesome exhibition tour. I didn't know how we were going to do this, right? I didn't know. As I'm driving over here, I'm like, if he's got 15 artists, we're going to be there till 3 a.m. I said, but I was happy to see a couple artists show up. That was nice. That David and Zeynep. I'm happy that Zeynep and David were here. It was nice to have a couple artists. But even more than that, I didn't know how to do this show. And it was nice. I'm never behind the camera. Usually I'm in front trying to figure out, what I'm going to say. But what I realized is due to the fact that you curated this and due to the fact that you're intimate with the artists, intimate with the works, know them very well, you were the perfect host. Yeah, you're the perfect host. You might get an hour of power side job or something. I don't know. The way you talked about each and every piece of art, as I having enough issues with technical problems. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, man, we need a little charger or battery. We're not gonna make it. And you're like, I got a charger. And I'm like, come on, get out of here. And so it's gonna get us through the end of the show. But through all that, through all the technical stuff, which if I wasn't behind there, it would have been a disaster of a show. But you being in front, bro, you got some talent more than an artist. I feel like, you should be, I didn't know how we were going to do this exhibition show and show all the pieces and the arts. But yeah, you nailed it perfectly.
Well,
Go ahead.
so here's the best part. If you rewatch this, it can turn into a great drinking game. Every single time I said phenomenal, you have to take a shot. Yeah, and I'm sorry. So you're gonna lose that game. But no, thank you so much. It's such an honor again to be, part of the show. But then more importantly, like have this opportunity to, again, showcase the artists, highlight this gallery, and all the amazing art on the wall. Having a chance to just, one, talk to the artists that showed up, but then two, talk about the artists that weren't able to make it. We always want to support the art community. We always want to support artists. I believe, especially in New York City, we have such a great art community, but artists have no money. And I'll just say that. We have no money. So it's really trying to get that out there and get it, have this art be seen by other people. The opening reception was phenomenal. I love that night for us, but it's how do we get this art into other people's hands? How do we get it from the gallery walls to people's homes, to people's places of work, to other places where it can be enjoyed, seen, and like I said, breathe life into that, into that space and joy to other people. So if anyone has any question about the show or any question about any of the artists in the show, please feel free to reach out to me. My IG is moart617, again, MOART617. I just got on Twitter too, X or whatever we want to call it. I just got on that for the One Love crew, and Yusuf, you can stop asking me now. But yeah, you can find me on there. I don't know how to use it, so I'm just liking everything. But yeah, thank you so much, and let's do this again sometime.
Yeah.
So.
This worked out good. I appreciate your time. I like your thoughts on. I have some thoughts. I have some ideas about how to get it out, how to get art out to the world a little bit more. I'll share a thought right now, but I don't know if you know streamers at all or iShow Speed. You ever see that kid?
Yes.
You know who I'm talking about? Wouldn't it be great if like somebody stepped to the forefront, something like iShow Art?
Yeah, no, that would be amazing.
There was a stream, nothing about art and galleries and feature pieces and exhibitions. So things are, there's a method behind all the tech madness. So each show that we film here and film outside of the tech issues, I feel like we get one step closer. So I think it would be great if there was an audience and you could stream to them and just stream around and show this worldwide audience all these art pieces. I think that money that the artists need would flow in. I just think it's a matter of, it's just when you're in an area and it's just here, it's whatever collectors that come along with the artists or the gallery or the area. And so what about the rest of them? What about the rest of the world? So how do we get their eyes here? And then I think it's a numbers game. You get 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 watching. Collectors will collect, So on that note, guys, Bushwick Gallery, shout out to Gina. Big shout out to this guy for taking control of the. What did we go down in the last 5 minutes? We're good. We're good. Really? All right. Well, we're recording, so we could always play back. But shout out to Gina and everybody out there. I know we're probably running on other streams. On that note, I want to say good night to everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being part of the show. And you got his information. And we'll see you on the next one. We'll see you at the next exhibition show. So till then, peace, guys. All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Mystic, I know you probably have had to use the bathroom this entire time.